In this episode, we will talk about, is it normal for Filipina women to ask for money? I will also read a story on Expat Forum of a guy who's never been to the Philippines but is talking to one and needs some advice. It is no secret by now, if you have tried to date women in the Philippines online through dating apps, one of the first questions is going to be about finances. They will start with a sob story of how poor they are, how they lost their job, their parents, grandparents, or some renovation needed for a house. Oftentimes they plant seeds. They don't come at you directly. Now these women are learning the game. They know that we know what they're up to, so they are changing tactics. A lot of times they pretend to be family women, women who care about the Lord and have faith, but it's all BS. It's only in the title or the name. They say they are God fearing, but they go ahead and scam and cheat you for your money. Someone on expat group by the name of Dangerously Driven says, so I've always been open to date women of any ethnicity. I am 42 years old, male, single father that wanted to try dating international online. I've always been attracted to Asian women, but have never had the opportunity to date any. I was talking to a woman from the Philippines who seems like a great woman. She has faith, which I love, and she seems sweet. However, after a video call for a few weeks, she told me that she needs a responsible man who can take care of her every need, her son, and her parents. I take care of my son and all my expenses, so I don't think that I'm irresponsible by any means, and I will help anyone if I can. Is this normal with Filipino women? I know that some guys are rude to them and looking for fun, but that's not me. Incredible. This person is like a lamb to the wolves. It is going to be heartbreaking when he comes back on here talking about how he bought someone or this woman a house, bought her a property, paid for her business and her family, and he lost all his money. I feel for his son because he will not have anything for him to fall back on, as I know this vampire will suck the money and the blood out of him. People share the same sentiment in the comment. It's common, but not normal. Run. She is looking for an ATM and not a partner. There's a high probability she will drain you dry and always side with her family over you. A good girl from the Philippines would not bring up money or support in this way. There are some really good and awesome women here, but some are just looking for an ATM. It's not worth it. There is something very important that was said in this comment. It is a matter of fact that good women will not talk about finances. The one thing that really annoys me about these Filipino women, they are so simple or think short term that if they just don't mention money, they can easily trap any man. I don't understand why they are so eager to ask for money immediately. Actually, I do know why. Because they never intend on meeting you or being in a relationship with you. So they do not want to play the long game because they do not see themselves with you in the long run. Other people have said similar things. People here seem to be sharing the same sentiment as myself. Historical Worry says, agreed. Stay away from meeting Filipinas online. I would date in your own country first. As someone who has lived in Southeast Asia for 30 years, save yourself a whole load of hurts and exit the Filipina online dating thing. They're just looking for a golden ticket out of poverty. She's chatting with 50 other guys at the same time she's messaging you. Precisely. Another important thing to note here is maybe we can forgive some of these questions, situations, and requests for money if this woman was truly in love with you and only cared about you. The problem is when she's doing the same thing to another 50 or even 100 men. Imagine how easy it is for you to obtain relations in the Philippines. Now multiply that by 10. That's how easy it is for women in any country to get a man. At this point in the dating scene, it simply becomes a numbers game. Women talk to as many men as possible and only pay attention to the ones who provide them with money. How often have you spoken to a female and out of the blue she starts to ghost you or does not respond? It's simple because someone else made her a better offer. Suppose you invited her to lunch and perhaps dessert, maybe a movie, but another man invited her to dinner and a resort and a weekend getaway. This is the reality of this country. Everybody is looking out for themselves, and perhaps any country, but that is the entire point of the Philippines facts and the Philippines truth to let you know that this is not paradise. Major ad 2679 says, she's looking for a cash cow. Run. Don't be a fool. Think with your correct head. Your responsibility is to your children, not that woman and her family. Date someone who's not looking for an ATM machine. Well said. This is correct. Outrageous Scene says, sounds like Angie. She needs a provider, and because it seems normal you provide for her parents, you can be sure that if a relative knock at the door for financial help, you will be solicited. Best Invest says, red flag. My friend, stay away from the woman that need that kind of economical support for her family. You are not a cash cow or a walking ATM. A Panay geek responds, OMG, you should stay away from her. Every time I read posts like this, to be honest, I'm getting mad. I'm sorry you're experiencing this, but keep in mind, not all Filipinas are like this. It's not your obligation to provide for her entire family's needs. She's a disgrace. Please don't generalize. This is something I want to talk about. Oftentimes, you'll find female Filipina women in these expat groups. They try to sneak in here like spies, like secret agents. They pretend that they are different because, sure enough, there are going to be some simps who are going to message them, and then they're hooked, thinking that this Filipina is different. Do not be fooled. No normal Filipina woman is going to be in expat groups. Why is she here? Why is she reading this? It makes no sense. She is catfishing you at a different level. Do not be fooled by people like her. I do not trust her one bit, and you should not either. Any blacksmith says it's normal in the Philippines, but doesn't mean it's good or that you should accept it. Be glad that she told you straight up rather than roping you in and springing you when it's too late, like so many men here. Quote, having faith doesn't mean much in the Philippines. It's culturally unacceptable and quite taboo to say you're not Catholic in the Philippines. So everyone gives it lip service to fit in and not be ostracized but not that many actually take it seriously. Talking to women online whilst living abroad is a waste of time. If you really want to meet a Filipina woman, come to the Philippines. I have to agree with that comment. Simple information should be named simp information says, yes, this is common. I live in the Philippines and my biggest monthly expense is my girlfriend's son. My second biggest expense is my girlfriend herself, then her daughter, then rent, then her family. I'm like 12th on the list. All the travel and fun things I wanted to do in the Philippines has yet to happen. Imagine being a man, flying across the world, taking care of everyone and everything, and not having any fun yourself. Being ranked 12th on the list of priorities and still feeling the need to share this because I know this man needs to get it off his chest. The best comment from yesterday's video is from Jerry. I never felt really safe there. The corruption and incompetence doesn't give me a sense of security. The abject poverty and fake smiles made me feel like I was in Shawshank Redemption. I'm so glad I have an American passport, and that means to get on a plane. There is no worse comment for this video. Let's end with the usual catfish photos. How do you go from this to this? Subscribe and spread the truth about this country. Thanks for watching. God bless.